Welcome everybody to another episode of Fins Nation. I am your host, Louis Sung, and today we're going to be talking about the Miami Dolphins offensive line. So what I want to talk about this time is not necessarily who the players that are already there are. I want to talk about a player who actually did have a chance with the Miami Dolphins a few years ago, and actually I feel like at this point deserves a second chance to be able to make his case. And that person is DJ Fluker. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give some context into why I believe this is the case, but I'm going to go ahead and get into that after I tell you all about our good friends over at U-Brake Wheel Fix. U-Brake Wheel Fix is a complete automotive wheel solution. Ever parked too close to the sidewalk curb? U-Brake Wheel Fix specializes in repairs of damaged wheels from bends, cracks, and curb rash. Or maybe your wheels are faded or peeling. You don't need to replace them, as U-Brake Wheel Fix can refinish them to like new. Offering complete refinish options through powder coating, machining, and polishing, U-Brake Wheel Fix is the answer to all of your wheel needs. And if you're just looking to give your ride a new look, U-Brake Wheel Fix also offers many car customizing options such as new custom wheels and tires from your favorite brands, performance upgrades, window tinting, and suspension modifications. Located just south of Aventura, you can reach Mark and his staff at 305-748-0112 or online at ubrakewheelfix.com. They are really active on all social media platforms at U-Brake Wheel Fix, so shoot them a DM on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter and get an estimate in just minutes. So don't delay, go to U-Brake Wheel Fix and start customizing your ride to show off your Dolphins fandom today. This show is also brought to you by PrizePicks.com. PrizePicks.com is a revolutionary fantasy platform where you can now pick up to 6 different players across professional sports leagues. Whether that's the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, one of each, it's up to you to decide. Just choose whether your chosen player will get more or less than their projected stat. They give you free squares over there from time to time, so you can't possibly lose on those. Today is Taco Tuesday, which means throughout the day you're going to see plenty of discounted props for you to choose from. And of course, on Friday, you have the Flex Friday specials where you can get your money back if you lose or multiply the amount of money you can normally win. So with offers like that, it's hard to justify not signing up if you are any kind of a fantasy sports fan. So use the promo code 5, that's FIVE, and they will match up to $100 on your initial deposit when you sign up. Get this promo code 5, spell that out, FIVE, go to prizepicks.com, deposit your $100, and let PrizePicks give you $100 of their dollars for you to play with and get started winning today. Okay, everybody, so let's just take a moment to talk about DJ Fluker. I'm going to give you guys a quick refresher course on who this guy is for anybody who's not aware or why we should even care. So this is coming from an article out of Bleacher Report. Just basically the article just reads very simply. This was back in April 25th, 2013. 5 things you need to know about DJ Fluker. So this was way back, over a decade ago now. And let's just get an idea of who this guy is. So when he came out of high school in 2009, he was rated the number 1 offensive tackle in the country, ahead of some names you may recognize, one of which is Michigan's Taylor Lewan. Anybody remember that guy? The guy that everybody was clamoring for in the offseason as well, because he was once upon a time one of the greatest offensive tackles in the league. Now he's basically suing Dr. James Andrews for ruining his life because the surgery didn't go well. Yeah, that guy. So Taylor Lewan was actually behind DJ Fluker back in the day. Now, in the draft, as he was leading up to the draft, getting the combine and everything gets set up, 6'5", 339 pounds, 36 1/4 inch wingspan, and of course, you have a 40-yard dash, 5.31. He benched 21 reps. He was a big bruising guy who could absolutely wreck you if you allowed him to. So, why are the Miami Dolphins now, after all this time, DJ Fluker is still a free agent? He is posting workout videos of himself to show that he is working his absolute butt off just to get back into the league. And he has not played football since 2021. Not since 2021 has he actually had an opportunity to do much of anything. And when I say 2021, I only say it in the sense that that was the last time he was on a team. He hasn't actually played in the NFL, like actually played, since 2020. Now, he's had some workouts with certain teams. He got a workout with the New England Patriots. He also got to work out with the Philadelphia Eagles. And for whatever reason, both those teams looked at DJ Fluker and said, thanks, but no thanks. Now, I understand that we are in a position where we're looking at players like a DJ Fluker, and we're probably looking at him and saying, well, if the New England Patriots don't want him, and the New England Patriots are famous for taking nobody offensive linemen and turning them into something amazing, and if they can't fix it, then they're probably not worth it. Well, I would go ahead and I would point to Isaiah Wynn, because the Miami Dolphins just took that castaway. So just keep that in mind. Now, as far as the Philadelphia Eagles go, I would defer to my friend Manny Chang here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network to know why the Philadelphia Eagles would not go ahead and bring in DJ Fluker for that. But that's a discussion for another time. Now, here's the thing with DJ Fluker. His career, as far as his actual ability to play football, it's had its ups and downs. But I would never say that DJ Fluker was a bad football player. He's had his moments. And generally speaking, when Alfredo Arteaga of the 3 Yards Per Carry podcast talks, I at least will listen to what he has to say. He's proven to be a very smart person when it comes to evaluating football. So if he says there's something there with DJ Fluker, I'm inclined to at least take a look for myself. Now, granted, I see what I see and I like what I like. I'm not here going to pretend that I know more than Alfredo. I'm not going to sit here and say that my opinion is superior to his by any stretch of the imagination. I am always somebody who's willing to learn and see for myself. But what I've seen from DJ Fluker is that this is a guy who, in his past, he has had weight issues, he has had effort issues, maybe he doesn't put in the work that's necessary to keep his conditioning to its full potential. And that has been the main knock on him for the majority of his career. Just pulling up an article here from Fan Nation Patriots County from Sports Illustrated. One of the biggest issues with him is that it's been weight issues. And according to other reports back in the past, one of the problems was that DJ Fluker would sometimes come in and report over 340 pounds while he was playing, which is remarkably bad when you're an offensive lineman, and especially when you're a tackle, because you're supposed to have some level of just raw athleticism. You got to be able to be quick, because the guys that you're facing off of the edge, these are not the big, bulky defensive tackles who you just got to be bigger and stronger than. These are guys who are fast, and if you're not fast enough to catch them, they're going to beat you every single time. Now, in DJ Fluker's case, he tended to try to make it work when he could. Now, obviously, that's not a good enough reason to just say, oh, well, the Miami Dolphins should absolutely sign him. If, after all, he made it work. He tried to make it work as best as he could. Let me just once again give some clarification here for his career. According to Pro Football Focus, and again, I know we try to use that sparingly. We don't use it as word of law. We just use it as supplementary material. The best thing that you can do is look at the film for yourself and decide that way. But what I will go ahead and say is this. His rookie season with the San Diego Chargers, he had a pretty decent season, playing a little bit of left tackle and playing a lot of right tackle. And by the way, again, right tackle is where Fluker would be playing if he were to sign with the Dolphins. That would probably be his best position. In 2014, he did some more of that. He played right tackle pretty much exclusively the entire season. He had a pretty decent season, nothing spectacular, but he was good. He was the starter level kind of player. And then in 2015, things suddenly shifted. He was actually moved over to right guard. So as a right guard, Fluker had his ups and he had his downs, but overall, according to Pro Football Focus's grades, he actually had a pretty good season. Now we continue. 2016, he played almost exclusively right guard again. He did play a total of 50 snaps at right tackle. That was in Week 4 against the New Orleans Saints in 2016. And again, nothing great. It wasn't terrible, but it could have been better. 2017. Now he's playing right guard again, and he only played in about 7 games that season. He played them all at right guard, and you can start to see that some of the numbers are starting to wobble a little bit, but he still has his moments of playing very strong. So now here we go. We continue. 2018 as a right guard. Not great. He's starting to fall off a little bit here. 2019, now you see a lot of ups and a lot of downs. He's all over the place now. Again, playing almost exclusively right guard. He played one snap at right tackle, and that was it. And in 2020, this was his last year that he was playing actual football in the NFL. A lot more downs than ups. He was all over the place. He played 24 snaps in the first game at left tackle against Cleveland, and then in the rest of the season, he played right tackle. And overall, I mean, again, his career has been a lot of ups and a lot of downs. But you can't say that he's been bad, per se. Now, here's what happens now. Flash forward to 2021. He's bounced around the league. He's played with the Giants. He's played with the Seahawks. He's played with the Ravens after his Chargers stint. And in 2021, he signed with 3 different teams, all giving him the opportunity to try and prove that he could still play football. Obviously, one of those stints was with the Miami Dolphins. He showed up. He was injured. The Miami Dolphins decided to move on from him. And then he went to the Las Vegas Raiders. He went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. But ultimately, he never saw the field. One can only assume that it had either to do with his injuries or it had to do with his overall conditioning. And with Fluker, again, it bears repeating, his conditioning was the main problem most of the time. He just was overweight. It's actually the same similar situation that happened with Solomon Kindley. We loved Solomon Kindley when he came out. We thought that he was going to be this massive mauling bruiser of a guard that we could just go ahead and let him block whoever was in front of him, and the Miami Dolphins running backs would be able to just follow him into the end zone. Sadly, that never happened. His conditioning was bad. The team did not appreciate the fact that he basically came in overweight, and he ended up getting cut. He didn't make the cut. Now, where is Solomon Kindley now? Sadly for him, he is currently a free agent, so I would not expect to see him playing football again anytime soon unless he's able to basically do what DJ Fluker is doing right now, basically. What DJ Fluker is doing is he's trying to make it known to everybody out there in the world that he is in much better shape than he was once upon a time. And it's kind of baffling to me that as a team, the Miami Dolphins have been struggling to find somebody that you could count on to be a strong offensive lineman. The Miami Dolphins have been searching for a solution to the offensive line problem, but it feels like a lot of teams just do this thing where they look at a player once that is not already on their team. For instance, I'll give you an example. Just yesterday, I was speaking about Austin Jackson and Noah Igbanogani and their alleged lack of care about their training and their effort. I misspoke there, obviously. I apologize for using the wrong words, but what I mean to say is that they were not living up to the expectations that were placed upon them as far as their performance goes. And that's how I should have said it. Sometimes my words don't come out properly, so I do apologize on that front. I don't mean to criticize their character. I'm sure that they're working as hard as they can. It's just not panning out the way that we would hope. So for one reason or another, it just wasn't clicking for them. And fortunately now for them, it does seem to be working, at least more so in Noah Igbanogani's case than Austin Jackson's, only because we've heard a lot more good things about Igbanogani than Jackson. Not that Jackson's not doing well, granted, at least well for him, I guess I should say. We cannot take away the fact that Austin Jackson and Noah Igbanogani have not lived up to expectations. It's not effort-based. I will go ahead and I will correct myself from yesterday. It is not based on their lack of effort that they are not playing well. It just wasn't clicking. It seems to be clicking now for maybe one reason or another. Maybe Butch Barry just knows how to reach Austin Jackson. Maybe Vic Fangio was the secret to Noah Igbanogani, and the zone coverage is the change that he needed. But regardless, my point being in this context here with DJ Fluker is that the Miami Dolphins have been giving Austin Jackson and Noah Igbanogani chance after chance after chance to show that they have some level of contribution to give. They've been giving Austin Jackson, basically they've handed him the starting job over and over again, and it's been his job to lose every single time. And so far, he has not really been able to hang on to it for more than maybe 2 games at a time. As for Noah Igbanogani, he was never able to get a starting job to begin with. They threw him in once against Stephon Diggs, and maybe something broke in him after that game, because you're a rookie and you get absolutely wrecked by Stephon Diggs. I guess that'll have a mental impact on anybody, I grant you. but he just wasn't able to put it back together. And yet the Dolphins kept giving him chances over and over again because those two guys were their first-round draft picks. Austin Jackson and Noah Igbanogani have been given second chance, third chance. This is literally their fourth chance to prove that they belong on the Miami Dolphins roster. Meanwhile, here comes DJ Fluker, who was cut by the San Diego Chargers for not living up to the expectations that they had for him, which were lofty expectations, granted, but he was playing right guard, he was playing right tackle, he was playing all over the line for the Chargers. He was being moved around a lot. And again, he wasn't bad per se, but he wasn't the first-round draft pick superstar tackle that the Chargers were expecting of him. And plus, his conditioning gave a bad impression and left a bad taste in their mouths, and that's why they decided to let him go. So those two things combined, I guess there's some sort of stigma now when it comes to DJ Fluker, because now teams are looking at him, giving him workouts, and he's showing that he's much more in shape than he used to be. So if that is the case, why are teams still looking at DJ Fluker and saying, you know what, thank you, but no thank you, we'll just go ahead and we'll keep playing with the guys that we have? Why, though? You're looking at these Miami Dolphins squad, particularly this Dolphins squad. If there's any team out there who should be giving DJ Fluker a second chance, it should be the Miami Dolphins. Because right now, we have an open competition at left guard. Now, granted, I don't think DJ Fluker is going to play on the left side of the line, but regardless, we're talking about competition here. You have an open competition at left guard between Liam Eichenberg, Robert Jones, and Isaiah Wynn. That's just based off of raw projections based on what we thought would happen before the season started. So I'm not officially reporting anything, just to make sure that we're clear on that. But we've heard talk and we've heard comments made by players. For instance, this was just one comment that was made by Robert Jones himself on August 5th, shortly after the scrimmage at the Hard Rock Stadium. So, he was asked this question that apparently they have been observing that he is playing a lot more right guard this year than he was since he was playing mostly left guard in 2022. And so he was also asked how is right guard treating him. So Robert Jones is saying this, and I quote, "Last year, I played both sides. Unfortunately, Liam Eichenberg got hurt last year, and I had to go out there as a swing guard and play left guard. But this year, I'm playing a little bit of both, playing everywhere. Everyone is playing everywhere because it's competitive. It's training camp. It's the same thing as it was last year. Just have to keep battling." So what did Robert Jones just say there? He just said, basically, that it's an open competition, that there is no clear winner at this point. I think the Dolphins have somebody that they want to win the job, and I think that that person is Isaiah Wynn, but nevertheless, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and read another quote for you from Robert Jones. So, Robert Jones was asked about getting an opportunity to start to compete with offensive line coach Butch Barry, who is now a completely different personality than what Matt Applebaum was. So, he was asked, does Robert Jones feel like he's getting the opportunity, along with several others, to actually be a starter? So this is what Robert Jones had to say about that. "I'm not really focused on that going into this camp. I'm just trying to get better each and every day, be the best player I can be. Whenever that opportunity comes, I'm going to be grateful for it. But having Butch, we just go out there and we all compete. He's giving everyone an opportunity everywhere to play and get better because you never know where you'll end up." So there's the non-answer answer right there, right? That's the one that says, I can't really tell you whether we're starting or competing. All you have to do is just observe for yourself and keep it to yourself because, as everybody knows, the Miami Dolphins do not appreciate when their depth chart, or at least their projected depth chart, is shared for everybody to see. They don't like when players are talking about who's starting, who's competing, who's playing and what unit, who's on the first team, second team, third team, what kind of formations are being used, all the lot of that. They don't like when that sort of stuff gets talked about. So Robert Jones is being very careful, making sure that he doesn't give away anything that might get him into trouble. I understand all of that. But it's pretty clear that the way things are being used, the way things are being talked about, that there is an open competition. So why would the Miami Dolphins take this much effort into making sure that their own players, who we've already seen are not necessarily the best ones? I've already seen Robert Jones play. He's had his moments. He's had some good moments. He's also had some bad moments. Same thing goes for Liam Eichenberg. He's had some really good moments, and then he's had some really bad moments. And this training camp, he's had a lot more bad than he's had good. And then, of course, we have Isaiah Wynn. Injuries have been his biggest issue, but he's also had a lot of ups and downs. So here we now have an opportunity here to bring in probably somebody who's not really looking for a whole lot of cash. DJ Fluker is probably desperate at this point to get into the NFL. He's posting videos of himself doing training videos all the time. He's trying to show the entire league, the entire fan base of every team out there that he's available, he's working hard, he's in shape, and he wants to play football. So why are the Miami Dolphins not giving him a chance to come in here a second time and prove, hey, I'm really sorry about what happened 2 years ago, but I'm feeling better now. I'm ready, I'm healthy, and I'm in shape. Let me come out here and prove that I can be better than the guys who are out there right now. If the Dolphins are all about competition, which they say that they are, they keep talking about it. Vic Fangio's talking about competition on defense. Mike McDaniel has talked about, yeah, I absolutely agree with the philosophy that everybody has to compete for their jobs. Butch Barry is looking for guys who can just make sure that the job gets done no matter what. And that sounds like a competition to me. So if the Dolphins are willing to go ahead and sign defensive tackles, which they recently did, and they're willing to sign up safeties and corners, which they recently did, why would you not give a veteran offensive lineman the opportunity to at least try and show in camp with other players involved, with an actual practice, not a workout, not a let's see how heavy you are workout. Just give him a quick, easy, vet minimum deal. If he's willing to take it, I would absolutely jump on that and see if there's anything left in that DJ Fluker tank. Because if you're really pushing for a Super Bowl winning championship type of year, then you are looking for any and all opportunities to make your team better if it's at the right price. We can use the same Dalvin Cook argument if you want. Dalvin Cook wants more money than the Dolphins are willing to pay. Fine. What is DJ Fluker demanding at this point? Does DJ Fluker have any leverage in a negotiation to say, that's not enough money for me? Right now, if he doesn't take whatever he's offered, he doesn't make it onto the team. So it's a very simple discussion. Either the Dolphins are willing to sign DJ Fluker or they're not. I don't have any inside knowledge on that, but based on everything that I'm seeing with him, he seems to be a very desperate player trying one last chance to get into the league. So I think he would be willing to take whatever is offered to him. If I'm the Miami Dolphins, I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, dude, we'll go ahead and sign you for a couple of weeks. Let's see if you have anything left. And if there is, then the Dolphins might have just struck gold, because the Miami Dolphins offensive line, man, you can't assume that it's going to be awesome. You can't. You just can't. You cannot have that much faith in Austin Jackson. You cannot have that much faith in Isaiah Wynn. And you obviously cannot have that much faith in Butch Barry to suddenly make all of these previously struggling players suddenly play really well. If I'm the Dolphins, you search for talent, because this is the year to get the job done. That's going to be it for this show. Thank you all so much for listening. Once again, today on Prize Picks, it is Taco Tuesday, so keep an eye out for those discounted props. Use the promo code 5, that's FIVE, and they will match up to $100 on your deposit when you sign up. And also make sure you go check out You Break Wheel Fix if you need to get your wheels fixed up. They're there for you to get your wheels fixed, to give your car a new upgrade, whether it's suspension modifications, window tinting, whatever you have in mind. Go ahead and reach out to them at 305-748-0112 or online at youbreakwheelfix.com. Thank you once again, and we will see you all tomorrow for another episode of Fins Nation.